Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, El Shai Bashem, Kakodash, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I didn't put anything together. I normally, sometimes I go with the Spirit, and sometimes I'll put a list of 5 precepts or 25 precepts or even more, and I'll go through I'll just go through this list. Like I have a list that I put together on the apostate. What is an apostate? I may even go into that in this video. I'm not going to try to make this really long. Like I said, I'm going with the Spirit. So I'm watching this video. Last night I did a video, two videos yesterday, but the Spirit wasn't on me at night. I was trying to get into the Spirit, which I couldn't. I went to sleep relatively early, a little after 10 o'clock. And but normally the Spirit jumps on me in the morning, whether it be 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning or so, 6:30, whatever. And I was gonna say something good about the Genesis Israelites, which is headed by Deacon Hakar and Brother Hassad, that one, according to the previous videos that we saw on these guys that put up, one of them got kicked out, which is Hassad, based upon the videos that they put up. Then when you'd ask, "Would you get kicked out?" None of your business. He just got kicked out. And then maybe a day or two later, you heard that Deacon Hakar left for a certain reason. So Deacon Hakar didn't get kicked out. He left. Brother Hassad didn't leave. He got kicked out, but they came together. So they have a whole nother group. They have the logo and everything. Genesis group, whatever, Genesis Israelites. So when I got up, I was going to say something good about him, but I can't. I was going to say, this is what you're supposed to do. If you get kicked out of an Israelite group, or you leave because of doctrinal differences or whatever the case may be, you keep teaching. You don't think about what you're going to do for the next year, or just go back into the world. You hop right on it, and you say, you still teach. You don't miss a beat. So I was going to say something, but here I wake up in the morning, and I'm going through my notifications, and then this video pops up. A new heretical, that word heretical gets the wheels a turning in my mind. Breed of Hebrews in the making. So this is a fake Israelite group, let's say. Now, they know that they're Israelites. They say a lot of good things. The majority of the things that they say are good. But they said that you can have sex on the Sabbath. And then Hassad, he said, well, we're gonna listen to it. But he quoted was it Deuteronomy 4, I believe it's 4 and 6. Where it says, "Add not to the," it says, "Take away, not add not too many words." That's also in Proverbs 30. It's also in Revelation 22. But in the case of the law, that's in Deuteronomy. So he said, if we're teaching that you can't have sex on the Sabbath, that we're taking away from the law, which shows you that he doesn't understand, and he's not a man of the Lord. I mean, you can put him under the category of Romans 16, 17, 18, fair words and fine speeches. He speaks the king's English, so to speak, but he doesn't have the truth, because he would teach that you can't have sex on the Sabbath. Oh, he did say, and what you're going to hear, he did say Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is not the true Sabbath. What do you think he got that from? Where do you think he got that from? He got that from the leadership of the Sakari. When he came up under Sakari, he was taught that And where do you think the Sakari got it from? They got that from GMS because the leader of the leadership, or the former leadership, because there's a break, they came up under GMS, and GMS is the only camp out there, or the former One Westers, or any Hebrew Israelite group. Yah Israelites. We're the only group that teaches the Sabbath is based upon the new moon. Every high holy day, every Sabbath, every new moon, every feast day. And the Sabbath is a day that you eat. You prepare the food before the sun go down, then you eat the food. Same thing with the new moon. You prepare the food before the sun go down, then you eat the food when the sun is down. It says, kindle not a fire. I believe that's Exodus 35, if I'm not mistaken, verse 3. So you don't turn on the stove or anything like that. So anyway, let's go into it. Let me just read this. It says I'm not going to make this long. A new heretical breed of Hebrews in the making. I like this right here caught my eye. I said, I got to watch this. Sex on the Sabbath is lawful if you want to join. If you want to join their group. So they have a list of the do's and don'ts, which they're clearly going off. They're leading people into sin. Can't have sex on the Sabbath. Isaiah 58 tells you about making the Sabbath a pleasure. Why do you have sex? You don't have sex to make. We're gonna make every time you have sex. If you had babies every time you had sex with your woman, you have a whole. You be in the kingdom of heaven. You have 1,000 babies. How many times have you sexed your woman? Every time you have sex with your woman, boom, a baby come out. Sometimes twins, sometimes triplets. No, it don't work that way. You have sex for pleasure. That's why you have sex with a woman. That's why you have sex with a woman, for pleasure. When you meet a woman in a club, in your mind, you thinking, I can't wait. I'm counting down the days to when I'm going to have, at least I do. I don't know about you motherfuckers. You deal with a woman for 6 months and get a peck on the cheek. Fuck that. Fuck that, man. You got to get it quick. As Richard Pryor said, you got to get the pussy. Yeah. Anyway, you have sex because of pleasure. If the girl's not to your liking, you're not gonna ask for a number because you want to have sex with a woman that you find pleasing to your eyes. Most of us like them when they thick. As Umar Johnson said, I like them 5'5", thick in the thighs. Like a short woman that's thick. So for them to say you can have sex on the Sabbath, and if you say otherwise, you're adding to the scriptures, or either taking away from the scriptures and adding to the scriptures, that shows you that Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is not dealing, even though they're calling on the name Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. So they're really not teachers. And they will be destroyed if they don't repent. So when you have sex, the law says when you have sex, you are unclean, which makes you unclean. Another word for unclean. Let me do this. Let me open up another. But these same guys are against the great doctrine, which is clearly, and they do go into the Hebrew. And the reason why they did that, because I would think that the head man says nope, which the head of Sakari said no, that's the Tahar is going off, and this, that, and third. So they're following what he says. So I believe they kept it. They didn't change that. So anyway, let's do this. Let me just put in the word unclean. The word holy goes back to the word, it's synonymous with the word clean. Olympia, Mount Olympus. That's Greek. Olympia means clean. In Spanish is limpia, limpio, limpia. It means clean. It's Mount Olympus, meaning clean mountain or holy mountain. When you clean something, it's holy. So let me do this. Unclean. Unclean. Let's put in until. Until. Let's see what comes up. Okay, let me do it this way. Unclean. One word. Okay, we got almost 80 precepts. Let me just breeze through these. In Leviticus 11:24, and for these ye shall be unclean. Whosoever touches the carcass of them shall be unclean until the evening. So if you touch the dead body, you can't go to temple. All right. And 11:25, and whosoever beareth aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening, and whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all fours, these are unclean unto you. That's the foods that you can eat and not eat. Whoso touches their carcass shall be unclean until the evening. So you can't even touch pork. You can't touch crab. You can't touch unclean animal, a carcass of an unclean animal. Now these Arabs, they don't eat pork, but they'll take some pork and they'll make you a ham sandwich. And he that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. They are unclean unto you. So having sex is being unclean. So to keep the Sabbath, to make it holy, the word holy, another word for holy, means clean. Something that's clean. Antiseptic. The priests, they had the whatever utensils that they used because they cooked and all that. They made bread and so forth. They had to clean the pots and the pans. Okay, it says these are unclean to you among all the creeping things. Yeah, so you got Jake eating all manner of unclean things. Okay, so let me see this. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, don't do it fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood. He that toucheth the carcass thereof, and if any beast which ye may eat die, he that toucheth the carcass thereof shall be unclean. And then you know what? A lot of this meat that we eat that dies on its own, and they just they don't say we'll throw it away because they're not keeping the law. So you're unclean every day. So anybody that says they keep the law perfectly, you don't know that you keep the law perfectly. Do you eat animals, blessed by other gods, which they don't tell you? Any meat that you eat, any food that you eat that come from the Midwest or come from another country, trust me, they prayed over it in the name of their God. So somebody that works at a butcher, they can never come to the temple. Oh, when somebody dies, you didn't have no undertakers. You don't have no mortuaries or morticians. The family took care, buried the dead body. Let me see. Some more over he that goeth into the house, all the while that it is shut up, shall be unclean until evening. Let me go into this. So we're seeing what's clean and unclean, what's holy as compared to the unholy. If the Sabbath, the scriptures say, the Lord says, honor the Sabbath and keep it holy, meaning, what thing do you keep holy? What thing do you keep holy? Do you walk around with a box and say, well, I'm going to keep this box holy? I'm going to keep the box clean and nothing's going to touch it. No dead animal's going to touch it. No. When it says honor the Sabbath and keep it holy, meaning keep you holy. Holy goes back to clean. Santa, saint, the saints of the Most High. The word saint goes back to the word to sanctify or to sanitation, which means to clean. A sanitarium is for people that their minds are messed up, so their minds have to be clean. A sanitarium is supposed to clean your mind, make you not insane no more. Insane means unclean in the mind. Got a lot of insane people in America. Now this goes into leprosy of a house. Right, this goes into a leprosy of a house. That means mold in a house. Okay, let me come back over here. Okay, and whosoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until evening. Anytime you have sex with a woman, you got to change them sheets. Every bed. Let me do this. Let me see. Okay, this is a running issue. Oh, period. Woman on your period, you're not supposed to sleep on the same bed with that woman. She's supposed to be in another room. In the ancient world, you had another house that they would stay in. You would be separate from your wife. That's why you had more than one wife. Now, you can't afford to have two houses where your woman stays in one. And she ain't going to have that anyway. But in the household, you might have to stay in the living room, sleep in the living room for 7 days and not touch her. Or if you do touch her, you're unclean. It says, speak unto the sons of Yasha'Allah and say unto them, when any man have a running issue out of the flesh, because of his issue is unclean. Now, you know what? Let me do this. I want to get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. A lot of you guys like IUIC, they good for saying keep the laws. Do you know there's over 600 laws? So some Jake on the street is just going to start keeping the laws? let's look at running issue. Just want to go deeper into it. To flow, gush, issue, discharge. Give me a second. Just want to go deeper into it. Okay, it goes into, let me do this. Just want to go deeper into this. Got to find the scripture. Okay, it says issue. And if he that had the issue spit upon him that is clean, that is holy, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until evening. I just want to get the word. Let me do this. Okay, let me click on this. I want to see what the Bible Hub says concerning this matter. Okay, and he that, 6th verse, and he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat that hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until evening. 11th verse, and whosoever he toucheth that hath the issue. So let me do this just to see what it says. Go a little bit deeper into it. Okay, let me open up another tab right here. See, the scriptures go a lot deeper than you telling people to keep the laws. And keep the laws. Well, why don't you teach them the laws? Ezra taught all of Israel at that time the laws. With other leaders. I believe it was 8 men or 15 men. Somebody help me out. Okay, now if you notice, the commentary, they ain't saying too much, so they really ain't. She ain't telling you what it was. Okay, let me do this. Oh, this right here, history of price controls in the United States. Now, this Kamala Harris, if she becomes president, she's gonna issue price controls. When price controls are issued on food and everything else, you're gonna get bad quality of foods like you're getting now. Okay, let me see. Meaning. Let me put in the word meaning. Bodily discharge can mean sperm too. You're unclean when you have sex with a woman. That's why both of y'all got to bathe. Just see what they got to say. Identifies what makes a man unclean, but also how to bring them from a state of uncleanness back to being clean or back to being holy. So we're going to show you that having sex makes you not holy. So the Sabbath day, it says on the remember the Sabbath to keep it holy, meaning keep yourself holy, clean. Uncleanness almost always a temporary state, typically only lasting a week or so. So anyway, let's come back over here. So it tells you all this about someone with a running issue, right? Until the evening. Okay, now it says, and if any man's seed of copulation, sperm, go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until evening. So when sperm comes, man's seed of copulation, sperm comes out of you, had sex, you had a night, what do you call it? The night dream, whatever, what do you call that? For any reason, you're unclean until the evening. So you can't do that on the Sabbath. If you have a, what do you call it, a night dream, a wet dream, whatever you call it, and you wake up and your underpants are soiled, it's a Sabbath, you can't go to the temple because you're unclean. Same goes with sex. When you have sex with a woman, you and the woman both become unclean until the evening. So how in the hell can you be holy? How can you keep the Sabbath holy? That means you got to keep yourself away from going to the temple, you know. And if a woman have any issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, that's a period. So for 7 days, you're not supposed to deal. How many of you brothers got two houses where when your woman got a period, okay, baby, you got to go to the house. I'll see you in 7 days. How many of them in IUIC got that? They got the money to get everybody 2 houses. Or at least, are they staying in separate rooms? Are they following that law? And for that 7 days, a man had another woman. He was getting it in with the woman that was clean. And they do say, for the most part, women pretty much have the period based upon pretty much the same time of the month because of the cycles of the moon. You know, when the moon is full, you know, it goes into the tides and all, which is the river, not the river, the oceans. That's water, right? Sperm and any liquids from your woman. That's all water. It's all based upon it's all in a liquid or gel form, so we can understand. It says, and if a woman have an issue and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days. How many of y'all are doing that? And whosoever toucheth her so guess what? How can you, brother, I keep the laws perfectly. Do you go to work? Do you get on trains? Do you get on buses? Do you go to the store? Do you buy things? When you make payments, do you come in contact with women that you don't know? Do you eat foods that the waitress brings out and she's on a period? Go to any restaurant that you go to that you go to on a regular. There's got to be a time where that your favorite waitress has to not be there for the 7 days. So where's Susie? Oh, she's not going to be here for the whole week because she's on a period. No, she's going to still deliver the food to you with her period. The guy in the back cooking or the girl in the back cooking, short order cook or whatever. You have a lot of gourmet chefs that are women that are on their period preparing your food. So if you're gonna tell people you gonna keep the law, brother, you gotta keep the law. You guys don't even know the law, man. It says this goes deeper than calling Esau the devil and saying that we're Israelites, the 12 tribe signs and this, that, and the third. She shall be put apart, meaning out. In this kingdom of heaven, every woman that we deal with, when they're on their period, we're not going to be nowhere around them for 7 days. And whosoever touches her, not have sex, but touches her, shall be unclean until what? The evening. But she's unclean for 7 days. Okay. And whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes. Touch her bed, not touch her, touch her bed. And bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And wash his clothes and bathe. And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon. You get on the train, you sit down on a seat. A woman could have sat down there that had a period. So how do you know if you're clean and unclean? Here you are touching the Torah, and you done sat where a woman sat that was on her period. And see, women shouldn't be out there in the workforce. That's another reason why the Most High is going to utterly destroy this place. You know how much adultery goes on when you got women working in the workplace around other men? Being nurses and shit. Oh, these nurses are the freakiest women on the planet Earth. You go to any hospital, nurses are always oh, yeah, how you doing? Them administrators, them Edomite chick, hello, hi, they looking at you and shit. How you doing? And hello to you. Because they want to do something. and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening, right? So if you know that you touched the woman and she's on a period and you was going to go to the temple, you're unclean. You can't go. And if it be on her bed or on anything wherein she sitteth, so she damn sure can't cook for you. and women are going to have periods, so you're going to have servants that are going to cook for you. If you have women servants that cook or deliver, when they're on their period from the other nations, they're going to have to be separate. When he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the evening. Oh, you can't eat things that just drop dead. An animal that drops dead, you don't know how. The animal that you ate, the chicken that you eat, you don't know if the chicken just dropped dead. The chicken has to be killed. So ain't none of you keeping the laws 100%. And if you break one law, you're guilty of all, pursuant to James, is because you're under the curse of the law. If you don't break any law, you're still under the curse. That goes back to Abraham, Adam. The soul which touches any such thing unclean in the evening, eat the priest. So right here, if you have sex with a woman, you are unclean. You and the woman are unclean. Let me do this. Let me just do this. Bear with me for a minute. Is having sex with a woman unclean? Bible. Let's see what comes up. Leviticus 20:18 states that both the man and woman who have sex during menstruation must be cut off. That's a blood flow, right? Leviticus 18:19 states, you must not go near a woman to have sexual relations with her during a monthly period. Let me come on back. Okay, let me do this. Maybe I found it. If it's not here, I'll go into the scriptures. Why were a husband and wife considered unclean after they had sexual relations? Leviticus 15:18, and I think let me do this. Leviticus 15:18. The woman also whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, have sex, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the evening. So are you holy or are you not holy? You're not holy. Let me do this. Come not at thy wives' Let's see what comes up. Let's see what comes up. Let me do it this way. Come not at thy wife for 3 days. Okay, let me do this. Okay, this is, I believe this is it. Okay, that's what I wanted, which is in the list, I believe. Okay. It says, Exodus 19:15, and he said unto the people, be ready against the third day, come not at your wives. And it came to pass in the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and thick clouds upon the mount, and the voice of trumpets exceeding loud. These were ships that came down. Father ship came down. Remember, when they were in the wilderness, it was a gigantic ship, UFO, so you can understand. So that all the people that was in the camp trembled. Let me do this. So now right here it says in the Lord, the word there was Yahweh. That's the Father. So, although Yahweh Shai intervened and was talking to Moses too, it was dealing with Moses as well. The rock during Moses' time is Yahweh Shai, represent Yahweh Shai. That the Apostle Paul breaks it down. Go unto the people and sanctify them. Sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes. Now, we don't want no dirty clothes. We want you to be super clean. It says, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua gave notice that he's going to appear. Like I said, there was times that Yahweh spoke to the various prophets. He spoke to Abraham and other prophets. And there was other times where Yahweh Shai came down. It says, and be ready against the third day. For the third day, Yahweh will come down in the sight of all the people among Mount Sinai. So he said, I'm coming in 3 days, so don't have sex. You better wear clean clothes. Them clothes better be spanking clean. And don't have sex. Don't make sure you don't touch nothing that's unclean. Remember the man that the Ark of the Covenant was going to fall, and only the priest could deal with the Ark. The man that wasn't, I believe he was from the tribe of Judah. I'm not. Somebody help me out. The Ark was going to fall, and he catch the Ark, and the Most High put him to death right on the spot because he wasn't supposed to be put to death. You're not supposed to eat the showbread of the Levitical priesthood, but King David was a Judite. He ate it, and the Most High forgave him. Why? Because he's special to the Most High. Hey, King David lay with Bathsheba, committed the act of adultery, and set a man up to get killed. And he was supposed to get killed for the adultery and for setting a man up to get murdered, or to get killed. Did the Most High kill him? No. So the Most High can pull back certain laws and say, well, I'm gonna let you go on this one. But what the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua did to David was pretty much far worse. You wish you was gonna die. Had his son lay with his concubines out in the open, and then had his son, say, I'm gonna take the kingdom from my father. Had the people following him, and he would sit before they went to see the king. He would be in the front, and everybody knew that what's his name, Absalom, Abishalom. His name should be Abarai, because the nigga was a father of wickedness. All right. He would talk to the people. Oh, that's Abishalom. We kind of like him more than David. So he started getting a following. And King David was weak for his son because he was real popular. He was a guy, every woman wanted and every man wanted to be. They wanted to be Absalom. He was a popular guy. He's a popular guy, So it was Joab that said, this guy's weak for his son. I'm going to fucking kill this nigga. I'm going to cold kill this motherfucker. And he killed him too. Killed him, no mercy. Then he went to King David and said, look, your son is dead. This Moses, David crying, oh, my Absalom, my son, oh, my son. So Joab cursed him out and said, look, if you were given a choice whether your son's going to die or all Israel's going to die, you would choose all Israel to die to keep your son alive. So kind of like, fuck you too. So he went against King David's orders, but he should have did that. See, there's a lot to these scriptures, man. It says, sanctify the people unto them the third day and tomorrow. So really, ultimately, they were supposed to come not at their wives for 3 days, right? It says, and he said unto the people, 15 verse, be ready against the third day. Come not at your wives. Why did he say, come not at thy wives? Don't have sex with your wives. Because the Most High wanted them to be holy. But he said, look, 3 days, not 1 day, 3 days, 3 days. Don't even think about your woman for 3 days. So if you're clean on that 1 day, how much more clean you going to be on 3 days? So another word for clean is holy. Holy, Kodash, goes back to the word. Matter of fact, let me do this. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is not dealing with Hasad and Hakar at all. And Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai will destroy them too if they don't repent. They need to repent if they're of the elect. If they're not of the elect, they're not going to repent anyway. What else was I going to put down there? Oh, holy. Let me put down holy. I don't know if all these camps teach this nonsense, but a lot of them do, that you can have sex on the Sabbath. How the hell are you going to have sex on the Sabbath when the scriptures say the Sabbath day is a day that you keep it holy? How do you keep the Sabbath day holy? By keeping yourself holy, which means clean. So let me see what the word holy goes back to. Holy is a Greek, is a Hebrew word kodash. Holy. Kodash. Holy, sanctuary, holy, hallowed things, most holiness, dedicated, hallowed, consecrated. See, it says to be unclean is the opposite of holy. Apartness, yep. Holiness, sacredness, separateness. Set apart, separateness. Unclean. Let's see what that means. Unclean is the opposite. I'm sorry. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing. Let's look up the word unclean. Did I pass it? And if a soul sin, give me a second, let me pull this back. Okay, I'm sorry. Second verse. Or if a soul toucheth an unclean, unclean, defiled, infamous, polluted, pollution. See the copulation, you polluted yourself. You're unclean until the evening. Having sex with your woman, you're unclean. You and the woman are unclean until the evening. So unclean is the opposite of clean. When he said, come not at your wife for 3 days, that was the opposite of being unclean. If they laid with their wives, they would be unclean, which made them unholy. Let me look up the word saint. Saint or saints. Okay, Aaron, and Aaron, the saint of Yahweh. The saint. The word saint goes back to Latin. It means clean. Quada wash, which means it means like it goes back to the word holy. Quadash or Quada wash means like holy, holying, and it means holy. It's another way of saying holy. It says holy, holy, holy saint, saint, apart, which goes back to the word. So saint, like I said, is Latin for clean. Mount Olympius, Mount Olympia, Olympius. It means clean mountain. Quadash. So when you have sex with a woman, you are unclean until the evening. If you have sex with a woman in the middle of the day, in the morning, both of you are unclean until the night, till the sun goes down. But you must wash your ass. So now, I didn't want to make this long, but so now let's listen to what the elder out of Vegas got to say, which is Karataza, GMS Vegas sit downs. A new heretical. Now, when you look up the word heretical, if we're teaching that the MOTB is a micro C hip and another campus teaching that it's not, one of us are teaching heretical doctrine. Now we're right. We're definitely right, and they know that we're right. Maybe they got a payoff. So let's listen. Then I'm gonna close.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'll start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Rechak Wadash. Double honor to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. So you have Hassad, brother Hassad, and the deacon. And I guess they're putting up the requirements, the tenets, the criteria for joining their camp. And they have a list of doctrines that you must approve, that you must understand. All right, that you.
What they should have did was beg to get back with the GMS. That's what they should have said. We want to get back with GMS. We'll do anything we can to get with the GMS.
Must defend if you're going to come into their camp. And this is how a new breed of heretical Hebrews, this is how it all begins. This is how it starts. All right, a new heretical breed of Hebrews. All right, because I agree with everything on that list except for one. And if you are going to stand 10 toes down on that particular doctrine, then everything else is null and void. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. Your doctrine is off just with that one teaching on that list. And y'all know where I'm going with it if you can actually see it. And he's getting ready to go into that. But this is how it begins. All right, so if you agree with these teachings, this is right up your speed, then this is the right place for you. All right. So it's on you pretty much to discern. The scriptures say to try the spirit by the spirit, whether they be of the Most High. So I'm gonna play this real quick.
Lunar Sabbath. If you believe that the Sabbath is Friday night to Saturday night, or some brothers say what, Friday night to Sunday, Saturday morning, regardless of what it is. If you don't believe in the lunar Sabbath, we love you. This is not a place for you. Sex on the Sabbath is lawful. if you are going to teach that it is unlawful, there's an issue with that, because Deuteronomy 4:2 says, "You shall not add to nor diminish from the word that I speak unto you," which is in context the law.
Good, good. I'm glad you quoted that scripture in Deuteronomy. What about the grape doctrine? Because you guys do go into the Hebrew, okay? So this is for you, Hassad and Hakah, Deacon Hakah and Brother Hassad. The great thing, Deuteronomy 22, 25th verse to the end, to the, 29th verse. Is it lawful to grape? Is it lawful to grape? And everybody in GMS should go on their boards and ask them that, man. Or put up the video. They watching the video. They watching this video. Okay, so if you're teaching that GMS is going off about that, well, guess what? You're taking away and you're adding. You're taking away and you're adding. Because you can't tell me that you guys do not go into the Hebrew. You guys do not understand the term etymology. Okay?
So
Wow. So what Hassan just did with that, and it pretty much confirming that they're standing 10 toes down on this teaching. You're pretty much, if you're saying that sex on a Sabbath day is unlawful, you're adding to the law. You're adding to the scriptures. Now, I have to get a quick precept, because this is literally what he just did. Let's go to Sirach.
Honor the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Honor the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. If you have sex on the Sabbath day, then you do not keep it holy. 3 days come not at thy wives. Why? Because you got to come before the Mount holy. Not just one day. I want 3 days. I want you to be extra, super clean. Like I said, part of being holy, a Kodash, is your body, your mind, your heart. Because you can do the thing by the Lord, but in your mind, you're lusting after a woman, of a woman that's married to another man. You unclean in the mind. But in the body has to be clean. Come not at thy wives, because I'm coming down. Make sure they don't have sex for 3 days. Everything that they put on, the clothes that they put on, make sure it's clean, washed clean.
The 32nd chapter and verse 17, and it says, "A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will." Just like they try to find justifications to rock fitted hats while they're teaching the word of the Lord, dishonoring their head, they're going to use another justification to commit, what I say is hypocritical on their part, since they push the law so heavy. Their standard for salvation is through keeping the commandments, keeping the law. Well, you shutting up the kingdom of heaven to men if your standard to salvation is through keeping of the law, and you're teaching that it's all right to have sex on the Sabbath day, whether you realize that or not. All right, and that was horrible to use in Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, where it says, "You shall not add nor diminish from the law."
And they're guilty of adding and diminishing at least this one law about the grape thing. And the reason why they went along with the leader of it, because the leader of it, which is Al-Azhar, Chief Al-Azhar, he said he's not with that, so they're not with it. So are they going to make an announcement that, yes, GMS was right about the grape thing, we looked it up in the Hebrew, and yes, they're correct. But now you got another problem with the Sabbath thing. IUIC, they say you could have sex on the Sabbath where it's clearly unlawful. They do what they want to do. They do what they tell you to keep the laws, and they'll interpret the laws the way they want to interpret the laws. So the Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is not working with them either.
I could show throughout the scriptures that you're indeed breaking the law if you have sex on a Sabbath day. All right, because first and foremost, the Sabbath day is to be hallowed, holy. Now, during a holy convocation, we always make sure that we ourselves, our vessels, were purified. We make sure that we were clean, just so that the Lord's day can be hallowed. You're not doing that. You're not separating yourself and keeping yourself pure by that act on a high holy day or the Lord's day. But I'm gonna get into that. But pretty much what Hassan just did, he pretty much just found an excuse and he tried to justify it through a scripture.
Well, he condemned himself. And he's a young man. He's a new jack. He's a young man. Now, you know what it says about a novice. Lest he be lifted up with pride, come unto the condemnation of the devil.
All right, that he used to manipulate so that he can actually excuse that particular teaching. So they're looking for some misfits. They're looking for those square pegs and circle holes to recruit. You know, dudes who won't be disciplined enough to at least, sever out that one day to the Lord and not give himself over to his flesh. Because that's essentially what you're doing. You're getting it in with a chick, you giving pleasure to the flesh. All right, which, in marriage, there's nothing wrong with that. All right. You deal with your woman accordingly, but not on the Sabbath day.
And it goes deeper than the pleasure part. Isaiah 58, it goes into keeping your body clean. Keep this, honor the Sabbath day and keep it holy. How do you keep the Sabbath day holy or clean? It's by you being holy, by not having sex, not touching a dead body, not touching the carcass of an unclean animal.
So I want to read that same verse, but I want to get it in the G and T. Oops. I don't know why I did all that. Yeah, so Sirach 32 in the Good News translation. In verse 17, it says, sinners have no use for correction and will interpret the law to suit themselves. And that's literally what Hassan just did. All right. He went straight to Deuteronomy 4, or he quoted Deuteronomy 4 and 2. All right. And that's not saying that sex is unlawful on the Sabbath day. That's not adding to the scriptures, nor is it taken away from the scriptures. So you got to be careful, man, dealing with these type of individuals, because you got to.
Well, just they're a stumbling block. They're just a new Genesis is just a new stumbling block. Okay. Anyway, with that, I urge you to watch the rest of this video. And with that, it's on to the next one. Shalom.